What I'm about to read is going to anger a lot of you, and I really don't care, especially a lot of you who are police officers or have family members of police officers. I don't care. This article is from the Washington Post. The impeachment video puts the hypocrisy of Blue Lives Matter on full display. This is written by Karen Antua. As I said before, you're going to hate my guts, and I don't care. This week's impeachment trial is revealing what black people have said for years. The Blue Lives Matter rallying cry is a bold-faced, hypocritical lie. On Wednesday, House impeachment managers offered chilling new footage of the January 6th attack on the Capitol. On one side of the thin blue line were Capitol and D.C. Metro police officers demonstrating profound bravery. Men like Officer Eugene Goodman, who won the admiration of America, who in previous video captured them leading a raging protesters away from the Senate chamber, was again shown in another video to be one of the heroes, this time in the clip urgently directing Senator Mitt Romney to safety. On the other side of the thin blue line was evidence of profound brutality against police, many of them, like Goodman, black. By the insurrectionists, almost all of them white. An officer screaming in agony while being crushed by the mob in the doorway. Audio of officers frantically calling for backup as the rioters advance. An officer beating with an American flag. In all, 140 police officers were injured that day. One officer, Brian D. Slisnick of the Capitol Police, died from his injuries, and two more died by suicide in the aftermath. For years, many of us have been saying that Blue Lives Matter wasn't really about protecting police officers and their families, but it was about protecting the right to use white violence against those who call for black dignity and resistance to white supremacy. If we were wrong, surely the movement would be leading the charge against all those, from former President Donald Trump on the way down, responsible for putting so many blue lives in harm's way. That didn't happen, of course. This week, hashtag Blue Lives Matter was trending on Twitter as black commentators pointed out the hypocrisy. This is legal analyst Midman Charles in his Twitter saying this: the Blue Lives Matter folks have been eerily quiet since January 6, 2021. Given that the GOP doesn't actually give a damn when white people murder cops, can we just agree that the Blue Lives Matter crowd was really about saying black lives don't matter the entire damn time? That was the Nation's and his Elie Mistral saying that. For damning detail, read Emmanuel Felton's account on BuzzFeed on how protesters with police badges and Blue Lives Matter flags attacked and hurled racial insensitive words at black officers. Now this is just one quote. You have the nerve to be holding a Blue Lives Matter flag and you're out there effing us up? One black officer said to a protester. As a formulation of incendiary response to Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter was always code for the centuries-old American assertion of the right to control and destroy black lives so that white America can continue to hold its place, along with all the rewards that come with it, at the top of America's racial order. Let us stipulate, there are plenty of police officers of all races around this country who have a great desire to serve and protect their communities. There are plenty of us. There are plenty who understand that wielding a police badge is a privilege and a responsibility, and who do their best every day to do right. Indeed, what we saw at the Capitol on January the 6th, 2021, and that's also why the officers who put their lives on the line to defend the work of Congress need so much better than empty sloganeering. If Blue Lives Matter were sincere, its supporters will be delivering support to the officers who suffered physical and psychological trauma during that attack. They will be calling out those current and former officers who actually participated in mob violence, that claimed the lives of 3 of their own. They will be viciously honoring Goldman. None of this is happening. That should tell you enough. When revealing the traumatic events of January 6th, there is also a reminder of how Trump and his Law and Order Republican Party labeled Black Lives Matter protesters thugs and terrorists, while Capitol insurrectionists were, this is Donald Trump speaking, very special, and we love you. For 4 years, Trump and the GOP embraced Blue Lives Matter ideology and symbolism. Trump flew the Blue Lives Matter flag during rallies, and indeed some of the nation's most powerful law enforcement unions embraced Trump back. The NYPD union broke with tradition and endorsed Trump for the last presidential election. As investigations continue into the participants and instigators of the Capitol riot, it shouldn't be forgotten that white self-styled militias and extremist groups pose the biggest domestic terrorism threat to American lives. In September, Congress Representative Jimmy Raskin, Democrat of Maryland, the chair of the House Subcommittee on Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, and the lead House impeachment manager, held a remote hearing about the threat posed by extremists' creep into the military and the police, which he emphasized poses significant risk not only to marginalized communities, but to law enforcement officers themselves. Over the next few days, Americans will learn whether the GOP and Trump will evade the consequences for inciting an attack on our democracy. But regardless of the outcome, no one has any excuse for ever taking Blue Lives Matter supporters seriously when they pretend to care about law and order. First off, I want to thank Ms. Antoine for the article. Every time I see a Blue Lives Matter flag or a Blue Lives Matter bumper sticker, or even when people on Facebook or Twitter actually have Blue Lives Matter photos, profile photos, it makes me sick to my stomach. Blue Lives Matter. So why aren't you talking about what happened on January 6th? One of your beloved blue lives died because of Donald Trump's attack on the Capitol. Donald Trump's pushing on the attack on the Capitol. Let me put it that way. 2 others are dead by suicide because they couldn't mentally handle what happened. By now, you've probably seen the video and heard the radio calls for backup as the Donald Trump terrorists start walking up to the Capitol. But yet you say nothing. Which means, honestly, you're full of crap. Blue lives never mattered to you. They only matter because let's get it straight. This all began, Blue Lives Matter began when the 5 Dallas cops were killed. Now I and others have spoken out against the killings, because they didn't represent what African Americans do, and more to the point, they didn't represent what Black Lives Matter means. We're fighting for dignity and equal justice under the law. What's Blue Lives Matter fighting for? Do you even know anymore? On January 6th, I'm sorry to even keep repeating myself, but on January 6th, 3 cops died. One was beaten to death. 2 others from suicide because they couldn't get the mental help they needed to psychologically get through this. Others, over 140 officers assaulted. But I don't hear anything from Donald Trump supporters. I don't hear anything from Blue Lives Matter about that. Why is that? Is it because blue lives didn't matter to you? That cops' lives never mattered to you? Obviously, they didn't. So, where are you? See, what I believe in this article, and every single piece of this article was 100% true. Over the last few days, we saw the very same type of people, Donald Trump supporters, assault police officers. I haven't heard anyone on the Trump side call them thugs, hoodlums, hood rats, or criminals. Not by Donald Trump and not by any of his supporters. Not by law enforcement itself. I haven't even heard anything from any of the law enforcement unions that supported Donald Trump. Which means you don't care. You never did. Well, I hope to God that this makes you care. Your boy Trump isn't here to protect you anymore, and he's going to be gone for a very long time. Blue lives never mattered to you, just as black lives never mattered to you. That's all I got to say on that. Now, again, I'll be posting another video about the 4th day of Trump's second impeachment. And just real quick, I need to say this. We just received word that Republican senators have been actually meeting with the Trump defense team during this trial. I don't know what's going to happen. I know what should happen. They should be removed from the jury. I know it's probably a sin. I don't know if there's even a precedent for this. But I don't know what I would do. Their votes, null and void. The Republican Party has been completely damaged. It has completely damaged this case. So, we'll see what happens. But Donald Trump better be convicted. After the last few days and after everything that's happened, I'm going to stop saying I'm under no illusions of what's going to happen. Because we all know what might happen. What's most likely to happen. But I know what needs to happen. Donald Trump needs to be impeached. And my final message to Blue Lives Matter, you're full of crap. Always have been, always will be. And I plan on posting this video to Blue Lives Matter anywhere I can find it. Anywhere I see a Blue Lives Matter flag or profile pic on Facebook or Twitter, I'm going to post this video to show your hypocrisy. Cops died at the Capitol where Trump pushed the terrorist attack. Where are you? CTP Know The Truth. God bless. Peace to the left. Justice to the right. Convict Trump.